Welcome back to a new video. Guys, this is about to be the most vloggy YouTube video I've ever done because I am in the mecca of all the influencers, all the OnlyFans models, all the fakers. You guessed it, I'm in Miami, Florida. Today is Sunday. I got here Friday. And I'm leaving tomorrow morning for Puerto Rico in a couple of hours. So obviously, I could not pass up the opportunity to vlog in Miami, right? Like, of course, this channel is not that. It's not about all that stuff. It's not about the flashy lifestyle. But yeah, still. And today, so yeah, first time in Miami, never been here. A good friend of mine, Nico, Argentinian American, he is actually hosting me. He lives here, and I had very low expectations coming here. I had a very negative idea about Miami, but there's a couple of things that I really need to talk about and share with you guys. And so needless to say, it has absolutely exceeded my expectations, and I'm kind of in love with it, I'm not gonna lie. And it's just made me think and made me realize about a lot of things. So let me get into it. All right, first things first, being in a place like this and being able to get a whiff of this lifestyle, because I've been hanging with my buddy who's a very successful, he's in finance, he's, you know, need I say more, right? So like he lives a certain lifestyle while still being super humble and cool and chill, but I'm just having like this window, this access to this different life, and it's definitely making me realize that I could and should be doing more with my career, with YouTube, like with everything. Like, it's interesting because cancer definitely made it so that I went from being very money orientated and very money oriented to like basically becoming very in the moment, short term, just, you know, let's have a good day type of mentality, which is good. But I'm starting to think that maybe the pendulum has shifted too much to the other side, because I do also really like to be able to have access to all these nice things and a certain lifestyle. And living in Mexico City, it's so good and it's so great. But if I objectively compare Mexico City to Miami, honestly, it's not close. It's just not. And you guys know how much I love Mexico City, but it's not the same. And there's just like a few things that you can't really compete with. So like right now, maybe all you guys are thinking like, oh, you're just talking about all the wealth and all that stuff. Like, no, like I'm actually talking about mainly one thing, which is the water. And I hate to sound like one of those people. I kind of I have some resentment from past girlfriends that made their whole identity the beach. You know, girls like that are just like, what do you like? Like, I love the beach. Like, where do you want to go? The beach. And it's like, what do you do at the beach? Like, you just lay there and, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always kind of judged people that make their whole identity good weather and being on the beach. So I'm gonna go against my own little rule here and say that the presence of the element of water, and the older I get, the more that I'm starting to learn and realize that this is something that I'm not gonna say I can't do without, because clearly I can, living in Mexico City. But when I do have it compared to when I don't have it, and how I feel when I do have that present next to me, like just literally being able to feel, smell, and look at this water right now, for me, is so major. That's also why I love Barcelona. That's also why I'll never understand people trying to make the whole case for Madrid being better than Barcelona. Like, Madrid has no water. Stop it. Like, I don't even know, what are you talking about? So yeah, that's one. And then also just like the amount, the level of wealthier, the level of basically cars and seemingly successful people, it can do things to you. You can basically see it and it can bring you down. Like it can discourage you. It can make you feel like you're a loser. Like, dude, like look at me, like I'm 36 years old and I'm living in a co-living. I have a bunch of roommates, right? At 36, so you could say, like, what are you doing with your life? You see what I'm saying? I never felt that way. I am very comfortable with the decisions I've made. But that being said, I also don't feel like Mexico City is challenging me or pushing me. And it's interesting because before I got my cancers, I was on that path. I was a very ambitious young man. I had 4 jobs before the age of 23 when I got my cancer. And I never had a day where I wasn't employed. I had a job in Barcelona, job in Stockholm in sales, job in a DP Oil, the oil company, petrol company, and then a job as a sales manager in a digital marketing agency. And then I got sick. And then cancer happened, and I remember being in that bed and thinking like, I had quite some money at that time for being a young person, but I vividly remember thinking none of that money is doing me any good right now. Like, it's useless, it's just like a number. But here I am, all messed up, and I can't even speak or eat. So that like kind of permanently shifted my view on money and like chasing that. But here we are now, about 12 years after that cancer, if not, I think 13 years maybe even. And I'm starting to understand that being older, becoming older, I love that song, fucking Bad Bunny. Cuando tú quieras. Why do I say cuando? Cuando tú quieras. I know the lyrics. Catching a vibe. If you can't tell, I'm feeling very happy. I'm high right now, high on life. And so it's Sunday. This is not like, we didn't go to Club Live. We we basically just did like a nice walk. Went to some bars last night with my buddy's friends. We hung out, had some drinks, and nothing crazy, And then me and him, we had great conversations. We like to sit back and philosophize. As you guys know, that's what I love to do. We had the Green Goddess with us to keep us company, so it was a good night. So like, I'm trying to say, like, I'm not here to be going to crazy clubs, popping bottles. Like, I'm not even about all that life. I'm about this life, like having a Sunday without a hangover. We did 6K this morning. I ran 6K with him. He's a very passionate runner. He runs every single day. He runs at least 5 miles. And so we did that this morning, and so I hadn't run in a minute, so especially being able to run next to a body of water is just the best. Anyway, sorry, let me get back on track. The older I get, the more I am feeling that I do have a need for more luxury, a higher standard of living. I appreciate nice things more than ever, but with the way I've been tackling life and with how I've been emphasizing free time and low pressure and enjoying the present, I frankly haven't been making that much money to the point where I can really save. So like, I have my corporate job, I have my coaching business and my YouTube channel, and I'm basically break even every month. Like, I'm not saving money. And if you guys know anything about Belgian culture, like, I hope my parents don't watch this video because they would have just had a heart attack hearing that. You're supposed to save, which I haven't been doing. And I say all that to say, being in this environment, I feel like Miami is, I see all these flashy things, I see all this beauty. Yesterday I told my buddy, I feel like this is what the ancient empire of Rome must have looked like. You know, like just this incredible, exuberant level of wealth and beauty and aesthetic beauty in all ways, as you guys can imagine. Like, I've never seen so many beautiful people in one location. It's just insane. And so I was saying, you can react. That's what I was saying. Like, you can react by thinking you're a loser and like you're not doing enough and like, what am I doing with my life? Or you can look at it like, you know what? And that's what I'm feeling. I feel like I'm having this fire reignited in me, this competitive nature, this ambitious part of me that has been dormant for quite some time. Because at the end of the day, I am a hard worker. I am somebody that loves to grind, that loves hard work. I come from a family of extremely hard workers. Like my dad was one of 15, grandma had 15 kids at the farm, and life was work. My mom is she's even a harder worker than my dad. So my dad is like Superman. He built our own house, like he built our house back home with his bare two hands, literally by himself, and a couple of uncles that would every now and then help. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that type of mentality. Imagine building your own house in 2025. Like, who does that, right? And then so my mom, she's an even harder worker. Like, she's absolutely off the charts. So my brother and my sister, both engineers, crazy hard workers. So like, it runs in the family. And I've definitely been the one who's been slacking the most. I don't think I've been slacking. I just think that I've been living life and sticking to the promises I made to myself in that hospital bed when I was thinking that I might die. And I don't regret that. All of that had a time and a place. But I don't know, man. I feel things happen for a reason, and I feel like I was supposed to come here because it's just making me, it's broadening my horizon. It's opening up my mind to a whole lot of different options, I guess, and possibilities. And I just wanted to share that with you guys, as I always like to do. So let's see how that translates itself. Maybe I'm gonna have to think about another job. Maybe I have to think about relocating. Maybe I have to think about really taking my coaching business to the next level. Because that's the thing. Like, even with the whole coaching stuff, I don't push it that hard at all. I really don't. Like, I could be pushing it a lot harder and getting a lot more clients, but it's always like, I think that's the Belgian in me, where we don't like promoting ourselves too much because it feels like we're not being humble. And I think the mentality in my culture has always been, if you're good enough, it's going to speak for itself and people are going to want to buy it and use that service. But maybe I need to do a better job highlighting my coaching business and stuff like that. We'll see. I'm just thinking out loud here. But that's where I'm at right now, man. Like, also, just why I love Miami so much, seemingly. Again, it's day 3, so, but I just feel like it's the perfect mix between Latin America, which I adore. I love Latin America. I love speaking Spanish. I love everything about the Spanish culture, like not Spain, you know what I'm saying. And then it meets the US, which, I mean, I'm about to make some people mad, but for example, I think Mexico City on a culinary level is so overrated. A lot of people always talk about Mexico City being like the best food city, and it's like, in my opinion, if you love Mexican food, obviously yes, but it's kind of limited in options. It doesn't have all these different options. Like, it's hard to find a good Chinese in Mexico City. It's hard to find a good Thai, good Indian food, like, you know, stuff like that. In the US, everything is available to you, and anything you can imagine is at your fingertips. There's just this insane variety that I really appreciate and really love. So I feel like Miami's bringing all of that together. Again, mind you, this is me on day 3, so very much first impressions, but I just wanted to say that. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's got me looking at Mexico City a little bit differently. Just the fact that the air is so polluted and it's such a concrete jungle and there's no escape to traffic. Like, you can never go to like a boulevard like here, you just walk next to the water and not hear loud ass traffic. Things like that. I don't know. Let's see if it's got me very curious about how I'll feel and how I'll think about Puerto Rico. To see the contrast, because I do feel like here, it's a very high level of material wealth and things like that, and everything is just so nice. Like, you go to any hotel lobby, any bathroom, it's all like silver plated and nice and clean and shiny and sparkly, which is definitely not the case in Mexico City. Mexico City is a lot more just like worn down. It's all just kind of older and I would say less taken care of. So yeah, things to consider, things to think about. All right, guys, I think that's the gist of what I wanted to talk about today. I think I've gotten my core message across. If you're still watching this, I feel like you've earned it. I feel like you deserve a little bit of extra content this is for like the 500 people that are still watching at this point. And so I feel like you may or may not want to know about how I feel now about the breakup and everything. It's been a while since I talked about it. Obviously at some point you gotta let it go. And I can honestly say and happily say that I've definitely arrived to a whole new, I feel like that is all entirely behind me now. I wake up, I feel good, I feel happy. I used to wake up and like, I would be reminded of the fact that that the relationship ended, and I would be like, ugh, get like sick to my stomach, and all that's gone. I'm back to being very open to people. I'm back to being very open to, whatever crosses my path, and just happy to say that I feel like I've digested it. Took me a minute, but it always does with me. And here I am now. I'm in Miami. Crazy. Life is beautiful, guys, and thank you so much for always being on this journey with me and seeing how I go. Seeing how I navigate through life and how I figure stuff out. So maybe you guys are gonna look back on this video in like a year or 2 years and be like, that was the turning point, that was the tipping point. Which I think is one of the coolest things about following somebody on YouTube, like a real person, where it's not curated content, it's literally just me basically journaling to you guys and telling you how I'm feeling. And so maybe this is gonna be a big turning point in my life. Or maybe you're gonna go home to Mexico City and forget about it and just keep going the way I was going. If the seed that has been potentially planted is potent enough, I feel like this could be the beginning. This could be the catalyst of something new. We'll see. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Don't forget, life is so beautiful. I love you all. Leave a comment, hit the like. You know what it is. Peace out.